welcome you to Siemens Stadium, home of the Omaha Central Eagles, where the Creighton Prep Junior Jays face off against Lincoln Southeast Knights. Junior Jays coming off of a great win, obviously, against Omaha Burke, 50-15. Omaha Burke came out strong, scoring a quick touchdown early in the game, but after that, it was all Creighton Prep. Lincoln Southeast coming off of a great win of their own, 22-6 against Lincoln Southwest. They are 2-0 on the season, looking to keep that undefeated streak alive here tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting game here tonight. One team that is ranked in the NEB Preps poll at number 7, and another team that looking to sneak back in there with a win here tonight. It's going to be a big game with a lot of implications for both of these teams looking to prove themselves.
Absolutely. Look here at the NEB Preps top 10 coaches poll. Westside, Millard South at the 1 and the 2, followed by Elkhorn South, Omaha North, and Kearney behind them. And in the bottom 10 is Millard North, Lincoln Southeast, who's playing, Papillion La Vista, Bellevue West, and Omaha Central.
Yeah, right now these top 3 teams look like the cream of the crop in Class A. Elkhorn South has been great in their first 2 games. Millard South, their one loss is deceiving. They played a really good program down in Arizona. Ended up taking a close loss in that game and getting a pair of big wins. And, of course, Westside coming off back-to-back state championships. They're still a great team, retaining a lot of talent from last year and bringing in a lot of new guys that have really made a big impact for them so far.
Absolutely. And as we look back to last week, Junior Jays with a dominant win over the Bulldogs. Tony Caniglio, 7 for 11 with 130 yards, 2 touchdowns. And he ran the ball 3 times for a nice 56 yards. Very good rushing performance by the Junior Jays. 35 carries for 257 yards and 4 touchdowns on the ground.
Yeah, as you mentioned, that rushing attack is maybe the main positive piece you can take away from that game for the Junior Jays, averaging over 7 yards per carry after a rough week on the ground versus DeSmet to open off their season. Tony Caniglio and Elijah Cannon playing great at the quarterback position in that game as well. One main concerning area for the Junior Jays, I think, at this point is their secondary. Is you see Marcus Buchanan going off for 12 catches, 209 yards, and 2 touchdowns. This is a very inexperienced unit, and they're really going to have to step up big here today, even against a Lincoln Southeast team that is more known for the run than the pass.
Absolutely. And Jordan Udofia, the starting corner, out again for the second week in a row. He was out against Burke. And yeah, we're gonna see how it goes. Now let's look at Lincoln Southeast last week, taking home a win against Lincoln Southwest. Trey Bolin, 11 for 18, 162 yards and a touchdown. And of course, Cash Butenbach, 31 carries, 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. This guy is a unit on offense and on defense too.
Yeah, Butenbach is going to be their workhorse in the backfield, as you see, getting over 30 carries in that game. Got another 16 in their opening week game versus Grand Island. In his career, he is over 1,100 career rushing yards and 16 total touchdowns, in addition to 173 tackles. On the defensive side, he's their leading tackler this year. Another thing that is a positive sign for Lincoln Southeast is the way their defense performed. After allowing over 500 yards in week 1 versus Grand Island in that relatively high-scoring win, they held Lincoln Southwest, one of their biggest rivals, to under 200 yards. Really good performance by their defense, particularly their secondary in that game, limiting Lincoln Southwest to just a little over 3 yards per pass.
As we look to compare the two teams, very equal defenses, allowing 28.5, or excuse me, very equal offenses, scoring around 28.5 points per game. But Lincoln Southeast winning in total yards and, of course, rushing yards.
Yeah, I mean, Lincoln Southeast is a team that wins games on the ground. You see they had a ton of yards in each of their first 2 weeks. The Junior Jays are going to have to rely a lot more on their passing game here today. Tony Caniglio, as you saw, having a big week last week with 138 yards and 2 touchdowns through the air. He's going to need another big game here today. but this Junior Jay's run game could have a big performance as this Lincoln Southeast defense does kind of struggle against the run a little bit. Allowed 164 yards to Grand Island in week 1. Be interesting to see if the Junior Jays try to exploit that in this game.
As you said, two teams very run heavy. I believe we're going to in for a very physical game between these two teams. Cash Butenbach in there in the secondary. He's going to be going to tackle some of the Junior Jays running backs like Angelo Walker and Jacob Ruby. I'm excited.
Another interesting element is that the Junior Jays are a platoon team. They don't have any players play on both the offensive and defensive sides of the ball, while Lincoln Southeast, they're very much not that way. I mean, basically all of their offensive talent also plays on the defensive end, so it'll be interesting to see if they kind of get worn down a little bit quicker due to that extra element of play. If we look at the matchup notes, Lincoln Southeast leading the series 6-5 since 2004, but in their last meeting in the 2021 season, Creighton Prep knocked off Lincoln Southeast 41-7 in a rather convincing victory.
And I don't think it's going to be like that at all today. I believe it's going to be a very close game. Two teams that like to run the ball. Looks like Lincoln Southeast is in to kick it off, and Junior Jays will be receiving.
Lincoln Southeast won the toss.
I kind of mentioned it in the pregame when talking about their run game, but the Junior Jays are going to need a strong performance from their offensive line here today. Very inexperienced offensive line in some of their guys, but a lot of the guys did start last year, including one of their team captains and right tackle Nathan Wilch. Junior Jays getting the ball first. Could be looking to put the ball on the ground early on and try and take advantage of a weaker run defense for the Knights.
And it looks like Maddox Brock will be there to kick it away, and Jacob Ruby back to the defend. And the second level would be Wyatt Lasher and Jackson Wergler. Jackson Wergler, another great receiver for the Junior Jays, has been standout here so far in the season. The Knights to kick it away. And we're off. Squib kick there, kind of short. Picked up by Wergler. And he's going to go out of bounds at around the 33-yard line.
Now we're going to see this Junior Jays offense for the first time. As we mentioned, Tony Cadiglio getting the start for the Junior Jays. His second year as the full-time starter for the Junior Jays, his third year getting starts for them. In the opening game of the year versus DeSmet, they kind of ran into a buzzsaw. He didn't have the best performance, but he came back after that in the Burt game. Looked incredible, 138 yards on just 11 attempts, 2 touchdowns. Kind of looked a lot more like what we saw in the blue-white game, as he was really confident under pressure and got some big scrambles with his legs too.
And first play is a run to Jacob Ruby, and he will get around 5 yards there on the play.
It's a great start to this game. Put the ball on the ground with your running game, and this offensive line doing a good job getting some blocks for Jacob Ruby there. And he ends up picking up about 5-6 yards on the opening play and getting them in good position for second down.
And you touched on it before, but Cash Butenbach is also playing on defense. And you got to wonder if on Lincoln Southeast's first drive, is he going to be tired? Are they going to run the ball as much in their first drive?
You'll have to see, depending on how quickly they get off the field.
Caniglio under center. He's going to hand it off to Ruby right up the middle. And it's going to be close. And they will signal first down. Jacob Ruby fought his way for the first down on a run up the gut.
Great start to this game for the Junior Jays. That first set of downs, establishing yourself in the run game, getting some good blocks up front, and they get themselves a fresh set of downs here at the 43.
Caniglio under center again. Sets some men in motion. And another one. Fake handoff. He's going to roll, and it looks like he's just going to throw it away.
That's a smart play by Caniglio to just get that one out of bounds as soon as he could. There was nothing really there for him as he ends up just firing it out in the direction of Colin Corrigan, their fullback.
Colin Corrigan has been a very good asset on offense in terms of receiving. A lot of wheel routes, a lot of those quick out routes. You don't expect a guy like the fullback to go take those, but I mean, he gets the ball to him quite a bit.
Yeah, and we've kind of seen that with Junior Jay's fullbacks in the past too.
Now here's Ruby, finds a hole, gets open. He's running down the field. It's all green grass, and he will score. Touchdown, Junior Jays. What a play by the offensive line, creating a hole right up the middle. Touchdown.
Ruby saw a lane, and he just cut through it. A great juke move to get open downfield, and at that point, it's just a foot race, and Jacob Ruby with his speed going to win that every time. Great job by the Junior Jays getting this early touchdown, and within the first 2 minutes of this ball game, they're already up 6-0.
I believe he broke a tackle too there. How to get a man off of him. Looks like PAT unit coming out. To kick is Drew Gotch. Costello to hold. And it will be through the uprights and over the fence. As Alex Tejan would say, I hope that did not hit my car.
It's a nice callback.
We're going to step aside here for a moment, but don't go anywhere. Lincoln Southeast on their first possession coming up next. Welcome you back after an electric Junior J touchdown. A lot of momentum with that, and looks like Matt Sledge to kick it away for the Junior Jays. Back to receive is Dane Omel.
The ball fell over as it's been kind of a windy night here at Central. Just re-kick it.
Matt Sledge consistently kicking off to the back of the end zone. He is a soccer player. And he will receive it right about the 2-yard line. And he's going to find some room, but he will be brought down by the Junior Jays at about the 34-yard line.
It's a good return there by Omel, setting up these Knights with some good field position. Now at the 34, we get our first chance to see this offense led by Trey Bolin, who is also on the varsity basketball team. He played intermittently in each of the last 2 seasons, but this is his first time as a full-time starter. In the first 2 games of the year, he's thrown for 310 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 2 picks.
Trey Bolin back to pass, and he's going to go deep, just overthrown. Intended target was Mason Meta.
He had Meta open downfield. He had his defender beat. Just put a little bit too much on it. That's a bit of a rough start offensively for him, but for the Junior Jays, you have to be kind of concerned if you're getting beat in the secondary like that.
Second and long. Got to wonder if they're going to hand it off here. Looks like he's got a man in motion. Low snap, and he will be dropped behind the line of scrimmage. What a play there by Gio Boyd.
Yeah, and the Junior Jays just really bringing the pressure. Bolin kind of struggled with the snap a little bit. couldn't tell if he was able to get that off to Butenbach or not, but either way, that play was kind of doomed from the start. Jake Brock and Gio Boyd getting in there, and now a 3rd and long. Junior Jays have a chance to get off the field with a quick 3 and out.
Junior J defensive line moving around. Bolin has to throw it out quick, and it'll be overthrown again. Intended target was Caden Ward. 3 and out for Lincoln Southeast. They'll be forced to punt.
That was some great defense by the Junior Jays. They had some good coverage downfield. It was Sean Skridlak, their captain on the defensive side, that ended up beating the Lincoln Southeast left tackle to the edge and getting to Bolin, maybe forced him to make a bad pass in that situation, rush his throw a bit. Junior Jays getting a very quick 3 and out, and less than a minute after the Knights get the ball, Junior Jays get it right back.
And it will be fair caught there by Wyatt Lasher. As we will take a break here at Siemens Stadium. Junior J offense coming up next. Junior Jays set up for their first play on offense. Angelo Walker in the backfield, and it'll be given to him. Little cut, and he will fight his way for a first down. You see Walker do that a lot. A lot of jump cuts, a lot of jukes. Very shifty. Likes to maneuver his way around the defenders, and it worked out right there.
Yeah, we've kind of seen that from Ruby a bit today too, especially on that 57-yard touchdown run. Walker picks up 12 yards, and Junior Jays look like they're switching up the running backs this possession.
And it'll be over to Walker again. Another cut, and he will fight his way for 6 yards.
I mean, first 5 carries of this game, you're averaging 17 yards per carry and a touchdown. I mean, you can't get off to a much better start than that from an offensive line perspective. Creighton Prep just winning this game in the trenches early on, and it's gotten them off to maybe their best start so far this year.
Absolutely, and it'll be Caniglio under center once again. And he's gonna hand it off. Walker dancing around in the backfield, and it's gonna be 3rd down.
And even on a play where there didn't seem like there was much that Walker could get there, he does end up picking up 3 yards and gets them to a 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2 type situation. Now you can basically show them any look you want offensively, and would be difficult to believe they go to anything other than the ground game here on 3rd and 1.
Got 2 men in the backfield. And it'll be Walker again, and he's gonna get the first down. Brought down hard there by the Lincoln Southeast defense.
First 3rd down situation of the day for the Junior Jays. On 3rd and short, they just give it to Walker, and he picks up those yards that they need and about another 5 as well. Great start for Creighton Prep offensively, just really establishing themselves on the O-line.
Gotta wonder if they're gonna switch it up here, go for a pass play, but I mean, it's kind of hard to when you've been running the ball so effectively. Sends receivers in motion. And he's gonna hand it off to Walker, who's gonna fight his way for a big chunk of yards there. It's gonna be 2nd and 2.
I mean, when you can consistently get like 5, 8 yards on first down situations, that's going to bode really well for you as the game goes along. Putting themselves in some good spots here on 2nd and 3rd down that have really been able to help them out a lot early on in this ballgame.
Caniglio in the shotgun now. Watch that motion by the receivers once again. This time he's going to hand it off, and he will be stopped short. Another third down situation. Third and about 1, maybe less.
This one's actually probably closer than their last one. You have to believe they're going back to the ground yet again here.
And they got the fullback in the backfield. And he's going to keep it on his own. And he's still up. But it looks like he will get the first down. We saw this a lot against Burke. A lot of rushing, and they just kind of chugging down the field.
Yeah, they went with the Brady sneak there on 3rd and 1. Tony ends up picking it up. Now they're right on the door of the red zone. Could go back to the ground here on first down.
This time they're going to hand it off to Angelo Walker. And it's going to take 4 defenders to bring him down. But not after a good 9-yard gain. This Junior J offensive line has been exceptional here tonight. Making holes. Now it's Caniglio under center. He's going to hand it off to Walker, who's going to get dropped at about the line of scrimmage. It's going to be 3rd down and about the same.
That's their first run today where they didn't really get anything. 3rd and 1. I mean, they could go back with that same QB sneak that they did last 3rd and 1, but maybe you try to go back to the air in the red zone.
Looks like he's going to keep it. Going to try to get a push from the offensive line. And they're going to signal first down.
About a 2-yard pickup. Junior Jays have really used that quarterback sneak effectively early on, getting a pair of big first downs down here in the red zone. And now at the 11-yard line, it's basically a goal-to-go situation for them.
I mean, when you have an offensive line like the Junior Jays do, it's kind of hard not to go for that QB sneak on 3rd and 1. And it's going to be a pitch out to Walker. Walker's going to fight forward. It's going to be about a gain of 4. Junior Jays have not passed the ball yet on this drive.
Yeah, they've ran 15 plays so far, and only one of them has been a pass. Resulted in a pass thrown away out of bounds, and Jacob Ruby scored a 57-yard touchdown on the next play. Speaking of Jacob Ruby, he just checked into the game. It's now both him and Walker in there. Ruby lined up in the slot.
And it's going to be Caniglio to throw. He got pressured and will be dropped. Big loss there. Good defensive play by the Knights.
And so far, this rushing offensive line has been a lot better than their pass protection. And see that there, both of Tony Caniglio's drop backs so far, he's been pressured. And that time, he just couldn't get the ball out of bounds. Defense got to him too quickly. I believe it was Pierre Allen that got to him first. Now on 3rd and 16, you're going to have to go back to the air.
Caniglio in the shotgun. Has time. Can't find someone. Keeps it. Looks like he will end up throwing, and it's just over Jacob Ruby's head. That's going to make it 4th down. And out will come the field goal unit.
That's a really tough play for Tony Caniglio, escaping the pocket. Has to fire to the end zone on the run, going from the opposite side. Almost ends up getting that touchdown, but he put the ball a bit too high for Jacob Ruby. And I mean, not getting the touchdown there is rough, but still a fairly close field goal for Drew Gotch here, about 35 yards out.
35 yards out and on the right hash mark. Gotch's kick is up, and signal's good. 10-0 your score. Junior Jays ahead. Lincoln Southeast offense coming up next. Don't go anywhere. Sam Sledge to kick it away, and it's bobbled around, and it will be a touchback. Now will come the Junior J defense after chewing up a lot of the clock.
Yeah, that Junior J's offense put together a 7-minute and 38-second drive. Sure, they couldn't get in the end zone, but you end up adding an extra field goal to that lead. You've got a 10-point cushion here in the first quarter, obviously a lot of game time left. But, I mean, you couldn't have gotten off to a better start offensively and defensively, for that matter, here in the...
To Dane Omel. And he's going to get around 4 on the play. Cash Budenbach has not cleanly gotten the ball yet in this game.
Yeah, he got one on a bit of a bobbled snap, but he couldn't really get anything out of it. You have to think maybe the reason he's not in the game right now is because he was out on defense for the entirety of that 7-minute and 38-second drive that took up nearly 15 plays.
Screen pass out to Mariel Bradford on that before he's wrestled out of bounds by Preston Woodward.
Yeah, and Bolin might have just needed that to get his confidence back, I guess. He went 0 for 2 on that opening drive, gets a quick little screen pass, and I mean, first down, 16-yard gain, that's going to get your confidence up as a quarterback. They're going to need him to make some big throws in order to come back in this game, especially if the running game's not going to work as well as they want.
Budenbach now with the ball. He's going to cut up field and be dropped for a very, very short game. 2nd and 9 coming up.
That was his first clean carry of the game so far, and the Junior Jays just swarming him immediately. Just a 1-yard gain on first down. Great job by this interior defensive line, really working on stopping the Knights' star running back.
We saw that a lot last week, too, against Burke, pressuring the quarterback a lot, forcing him to make very hesitated and quick throws. And just there, it gets batted down by number 8, Sean Skridlak, the captain.
And Sean Skridlak just bursting through right there. He had to play this game with a club after he suffered a thumb injury in the Burke game. I don't know if it was the hand he had the club on that he knocked it down with, but kind of hope not, because that would be pretty painful. Anyway, 3rd down and 9 situation. You have to go to the air if you're the Knights.
Trey Bolin in the shotgun, and he's going to drop back to pass. Heavy pressure, it's caught. But did he get the first down? Pass complete to Nate Applegate. And it looks like he will be short. It's going to be 4th and inches coming up.
Now on 4th and inches, I don't know if you can take this to the end of the quarter, but bit of a tough decision. They're bringing this offense back out there. You have to think they're going to go to the ground with their star running back, Cash Butenbach.
And they're going to run a fake jet sweep, and Butenbach will be stopped. Officials talking.
Junior
Turnover. Wow. Turnover on downs, stopping Cash Butenbach short of the first down on 4th and inches. It's all Junior Jays.
I don't know if you could get off to a better start if you're Creighton Prep. Getting that quick touchdown and 3 and out, then the nearly 8-minute drive into the first quarter. You get the ball back here up 10 points at the end of the first in night territory. Great start for the Junior Jays. I don't know if you could have drawn this up any better for them.
With 9 seconds left in the first quarter, you wonder if they're just going to hand it off here, and looks like he's going to drop back to pass. There's some time left on the clock, however.
Yeah, that was a tough throw from Tony Caniglio. He almost got it, just put a little bit too much on it. Wergler actually was able to make contact with one hand, but really difficult play for any wide receiver to come up with that, and just falls to the turf. And now on 2nd and 10. Yeah, wonder if they go back to the ground game as Ruby's lined up next to Tony Caniglio in the backfield.
6 linemen there for the Junior Jays, and it looks like Caniglio is just going to keep it. And that is how we will end the first quarter. 10-0, Junior Jays up. After that short run by Tony Caniglio. 3rd and 7 coming up. 3rd and 8, excuse me. As we will take a break ourselves. Don't go anywhere. Second quarter coming up. Welcome you back to Siemens Stadium. Junior Jays pick up where they left off. 3rd and 8. Longest third down, or not the longest third down, I guess. As they are going to fake the handoff, and Tony Caniglio is going to be pressured. It's going to be caught by Wyatt Lasher, but he's going to get dropped before the first down marker. Pressured there by Dane Omel. Excuse me. Just got right past that left side of the Junior J offensive line. Forcing Caniglio to make a rush throw. Lasher had to catch it off balance and was able to get a couple more after, but now it's 4th down.
Now 4th and 3, they're keeping the offense out there. Curious if they're just going to try and draw Lincoln Southeast offside or if they're actually going to run a play.
And they will. Looks like they're going to hand it off to Jacob Ruby, and he will be a few yards short. Back-to-back turnover on downs.
Yeah, that situation, that might just be a spot where it's more beneficial to punt it with your defense playing as well as they have early on. Gives Lincoln Southeast.
Bolin bring a man in motion, and it's going to be a jet sweep, but he's going to get stopped before he can get any yards. It's going to be second and looks like 11.
A great stop from this Junior Jays D-line, and I think it speaks to how well they've played in the trenches at this point that Creighton Prep has 114 rushing yards. Lincoln Southeast at the current moment has 1. Dane Omel has 2 carries for 3 yards. Cash Butenbach has 3 carries for -2. This Junior Jays D-line has played incredible.
Bolin back to pass. Bolin's going to run on his own, and he will slide after a short gain of about 6. 3rd and medium coming up.
Now on about a 3rd and 5. This could be 4-down territory for the Knights. It's a possibility that they run it here on 3rd and 6, and even if they don't end up getting the first, they come back out on 4th down if they gain enough and run it again. Either that or they go to the air here. Either way, if the Junior Jays hold them to pretty much nothing, you can't go for it.
Now here's Butenbach. Butenbach gets tripped up. He saw the open field, got tripped up, but not before getting a 1st down. Good play there by Lincoln Southeast, getting that 1st down. Butenbach cut outside, was able to find some blockers. And now it's Bolin to hand it off again. And Butenbach again. Just had so much room to run and gets brought down before anything too big happens.
Jake Brock might have just saved a touchdown there. Butenbach had a ton of room to run, but Brock just brings him down by the jersey. That's a great tackle by the sophomore defensive tackle. Really coming up big on this defensive line early on.
Jake Brock started on the defensive line for the Junior Jays as a freshman. Now he's out. Trey Bolin on the deep pass, and it's intercepted by Preston Woodward at the 20-yard line. The Junior Jays secondary comes up big.
And one of the main things that this Lincoln Southeast team needed to do to win today was take care of the football, particularly in the instance of their quarterback, Trey Bolin, who had 2 interceptions in week 1 versus Grand Island. Doesn't end up taking care of it there. So he just fires into contested traffic, and Preston Woodward makes a great play defensively to get the Junior Jays this ball back and get their momentum back on their side after a rough 4th down. Great play there defensively from Woodward.
Now here comes a Junior J offense looking to take advantage of the interception. And official blues whistle. And it's Caniglio under center. Caniglio to hand it off. And Walker will be dropped after a short gain. About 3. 2nd and 7. Junior J run game kind of slowing down as of recent.
Yeah, after that red hot start, this Knights defensive line has started to step up a bit more and limit Angelo Walker and Jacob Ruby on the ground. You have to wonder if you're going to need to get this pass offense going in order to get some more points.
It's going to be a pitch out to Walker. Walker's going to find some room, and it's going to be 3rd and short coming up.
Now 3rd and a yard. You have to figure maybe they're going back to the ground again. They've ran a QB sneak on 3rd and 1 with Tony Caniglio twice so far. It's gotten the 1st down both times. They're in the same formation as they were both of those times.
And it looks like they're going to try it again. A big push there by the fullback, and he's going to have some room to run. He's still on his feet, fighting for yards. It's going to take the entire Lincoln Southeast defense to bring him down at just short of the 50-yard line.
Tony Caniglio, he might be a quarterback, but he runs the football like he's a linebacker. Very difficult to bring down from the quarterback position, and You see it there, fighting through the initial pile to escape initially and fighting through that traffic to gain another 5-6 yards. 20-yard pickup on a quarterback sneak. You don't see that very much. Some great play there from Tony.
And Caniglio in the shotgun, and it looks like he's going to roll to his right. Quick pass intended for Colin Corrigan, but he couldn't reel it in. Fortunately, that wasn't picked off. It kind of got popped up in the air right next to the defender, but fortunately it hit the ground before a turnover happened.
Yeah, and you got to catch that one if you're Colin Corrigan. That was a good throw by Caniglio getting out of the pocket, and now that sets the Junior Jays back a little bit here on 2nd and 10 instead of picking up about 4 or 5 yards on that one.
Caniglio under center. It's going to be another pitch out to Andrew Walker, and he gets tripped up behind the line of scrimmage by Cash Butenbach.
Yeah, and that's the impact of Cash Butenbach for this Knights team. Gets a lot of big gains in the backfield and ends up knocking down a lot of tacklers in the opposing team's backfield. Gets a big stop there on Walker, and now on 3rd and 12. Junior Jays kind of forced into a pass situation.
Junior Jays struggle to pass the ball so far in this game. Just not a lot of time for Caniglio to make a decision and make a good throw here.
Yeah, 6 dropbacks, 1 completion on 5 attempts, and a sack for a loss of 9 yards. Gonna need to protect him better here on this 3rd and 12.
And it's gonna be a flag on the play, a false start.
It's going to be an illegal procedure.
Excuse me.
On Wyatt Lasher, I believe. I think what happened was the Junior Jays sent 2 guys in motion at the same time. Not really allowed to do that. Now on an already difficult 3rd down gets even more difficult.
3rd and 17. Caniglio back to pass. Just has no time and gets as many as he can, but it looks like he's going to get to the original starting line. 4th and 10, and looks like the Junior Jays are out to punt.
Yeah, and in that situation, you just kind of hope for a miracle on that run up the middle. Maybe you catch the defense off guard when they're expecting pass. Lincoln Southeast playing really disciplined there, and they end up knocking Tony down at about the initial line of scrimmage, and now the Junior Jays will be forced to punt for the first time here today.
That was Dane O'Mill on the pressure there on the far side of your screen. He's been doing that a lot today, creating a lot of problems here for the Junior Jays.
Now both O'Mill and Mariel Bradford back to return the punt.
Big punt here. And it's going to take a couple bounces and be just out of reach for the Junior Jays. It's going to be a touchback.
Yeah, that was almost a perfect punt from Sledge. Just hit it a little bit too far. It's been great for them as a punter this last year and a half, and almost pinned the Knights back. But now they start at the 20, more than halfway through the 2nd quarter of play. Feel like they need to get at least something on the scoreboard before the 2nd half just to get a little bit of momentum back.
Absolutely is. Here comes Butenbach again, lowering his shoulder there against number 13, Alex Costello. Fortunately brought down only for a short 5-yard gain. Butenbach not afraid to show some physicality here.
And that's something that this Lincoln Southeast team definitely really likes. They like to play more physical, and Butenbach's been a big part of that.
Another screenplay blown up instantly by Ian Aslan. Dropped for a loss. It's going to be third down and 9.
And sometimes you just read a play perfectly, and that's exactly what Ian Aslan did there. Quick little screen pass, but he was all over it. Ended up bringing the ball carrier down 4 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Now a 2nd and medium situation has turned into a 3rd and long.
Trey Bolin fakes a handoff, drops back to pass. He's going to do a quick out route. That's Caden Ward, and he's going to be dropped after a short gain, 4th down. Great defensive play by both teams here. Lincoln Southeast forced a punt once again.
Another quick 3-and-out for the Junior Jays. Lincoln Southeast so far 1 for 4 on 3rd down situations. Just 2 first downs overall on the day for them, and the Junior Jays get the ball back very quickly after they're forced to punt.
And fair catch called there by Wyatt Lasher at the 45-yard line. And we will leave it at that. Junior J offense coming up. Welcome back as the Junior J offense takes the field. Got trips receivers to his right. Looks like he's going to hand it off to Ruby, but it's not going to go anywhere. No gain on the play.
And at this point for Creighton Prep, you might have to just brute force a passing game together. They have not been able to protect Tony Caniglio at all early on, but at this point, you might want to send like an extra running back or a tight end in protection. Just get him as much time as he can to throw.
And it's another handoff to Ruby, and he's going to power his way for a gain of around 4.
Ruby over the left side.
Another 3rd down situation.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of 3rd and long type spots for the Junior Jays these last couple drives. These are spots where you need to protect your quarterback, get him time to throw, and the quarterback needs to make some good reads. Haven't really seen that early on so far, but no better time to start than this 3rd and 7 right before the end of the half.
Junior J offense. Caniglio is going to hand it off to Ruby, and Ruby will get stopped short of the 1st down.
And a run on 3rd and 7. Not something I was the most expecting of, but
looks like a timeout called. Timeout taken by the Knights. So we will take a timeout of our own. Don't go anywhere. Fourth down situation. It looks like they'll keep the offense on the field. Kind of a must get here, as a lot of the second quarter has been very defense heavy. Caniglio is going to make a throw, and Wergler could not reel it in. Bounced right out of his hands. If you're Jackson Wergler, you got to catch those.
yeah, that one really hurts offensively for the Junior Jays, because in a big 4th down situation, you need to catch that football, get your team a 1st down, especially as the star receiver of your team. Now this gives Lincoln Southeast 2 minutes and 12 seconds to potentially put a drive together and get back in this ball game.
Bolin with a deep ball, And it is incomplete. That pass intended for Mason Meta, guarded by Silas Bush. In as backup, as I said before, Jordan Udofia missing this game.
Just some great defense downfield by Silas Bush. Not losing track of the ball or the receiver. Ends up just poking that one away and forcing an incompletion instead of a deep gain.
2nd and 10 coming up here. Buenbach in the backfield with Bolin. Bolin sends Bradford on a motion, and he's going to get a bad snap and a flag down, but he's going to get a screen. Dane Omel fighting his way for extra yards. Got a 1st down. A flag was thrown there at the beginning of the play, however.
And it looks like this one's getting called back. I believe they're going to call that a legal motion on the part of the Knights. That'll move them back 5 yards. Penalties really haven't been a factor in this game so far. First penalty for the Knights, the Junior Jays just have one of their own. Both penalties for just 5 yards. That one does call back a 1st down.
Big play taken away, and he's going to lob it up to Buenbach, but he's going to get dropped for a short gain. 3rd and long coming up.
Yeah, Jake Brock actually almost knocked that one down. It was a bit too high for him, but they end up just knocking Buenbach down for a loss of a yard regardless. Now the Junior Jays on a 3rd and 17 situation are going to call a timeout with 1:48 remaining to potentially get the ball back faster. Great stop there from Creighton Prep on 2nd and 16 to make it a 3rd and 17 spot.
Now you got a great starting drive, a great stop by the defense, and then a field goal. Not a lot of offense after that. This game has been very defense heavy for both sides.
Yeah, heading into this game, we thought it was going to be a defensive slugfest between both of these teams, who are honestly probably stronger on the defensive end than they are on the offensive end. But after that early start to the game where the Junior Jays took a 10-0 lead after their first 2 drives, yeah, I had to wonder whether or not this was actually going to turn into a bit of a shootout, or maybe the Junior Jays would pull away with a good offensive performance. But at this point, the defenses have really taken over, and it's been a very low-scoring game in this last quarter or so.
3rd and long. Trey Bolin back to pass. Pressured. And he's forced to throw it away. Heavy pressure brought by the Junior Jays defensive line as the punt team for Lincoln Southeast will take the field.
Yeah, that was Jake Brock and Dakota Butler that were getting in on the quarterback, Trey Bolin. Didn't have anything downfield, just makes a smart play and decides to just throw it out of bounds. A good play on his part, but now with 1:40 left, Creighton Prep likely to get this ball back with about 1:35 or so, and they will have a chance to get on the scoreboard again before the end of this first half. Just got that punt off. Lasher calls for a fair catch at the 38-yard line, and this Junior Jays offense will take back over with 1:34 to go in the first half.
If the Junior Jays just got to get downfield quick, which is going to prove to be a little bit of a struggle as the passing game hasn't been their strong suit here tonight. Offensive line going to have to step up big here in the next minute and a half. Give Tony some time to make some key passes. And Tony will line up under center with Angelo Walker in the backfield. And he's going to hand it off to Walker, who's going to make a couple cuts, and he will be dropped after a gain of about 4, excuse me.
Yeah, about a 4-yard pickup on the opening play of this drive. Junior Jays getting to the line rather quickly.
And you have to if you're going down to score. Clock's still running. And it's going to be a pass incomplete. That one intended for James Horty. Just can't reel it in.
Now on 3rd and 6. This might be another passing situation. But you have to kind of be careful here, because if you're forced off the field at this point, regardless of whether or not Lincoln Southeast needs to extend another timeout, they're getting the ball back with just a little under a minute to play. Sure, they won't be in the best field position, but that does give them a chance to drive down and get points on the scoreboard before the end of the half.
Tony Caniglio all by himself in the backfield. Lincoln Southeast going to send a lot, and he will be sacked for a loss of 8. 4th down coming up for the Junior Jays. Great defense there by Lincoln Southeast. Blitz 2 linebackers. Overwhelming the offensive line and sacking the quarterback for a huge loss on the play.
Yeah, and it was Caden Van Cleve who got in there, knocked Tony Caniglio down. This offensive line is really going to need to perform a lot better in pass protection in the second half. Just not giving Caniglio basically any time to throw on any of his dropbacks ends up resulting in a quick 3 and out.
It's like looking to drop one, pin one deep in enemy territory. Matt Sledge has done a pretty good job of that so far. Didn't have to punt much last week.
It's a great punt.
And it'll be fielded around the 30. Cuts back, makes 1 man miss, makes 2 men miss. Rushing, he's got some speed, and he will be dropped at about the 42-yard line, but a flag.
That was a good return by Bradford as he really escaped a lot of traffic. I think this is probably getting knocked back a few yards. And yeah, looking at the referees, it appears like Lincoln Southeast is going to get brought back a little bit to start their final drive of the half.
46 seconds left on the clock. Trey Bullen has shown that he can throw the ball deep. Looks like it's going to be a personal foul call on the receiving team. And it's going to be a big penalty. We're going to start at around the 16-yard line.
Yeah, that's a really costly penalty. If not for the penalty, they would have started at the 42-yard line. Instead, they end up starting 26 yards back and getting about 40 yards to get in field goal range is a lot more manageable than 70.
Pass completed and tackled after a gain of about 5. Bolin had some time to think there, sat in the pocket for a good few seconds. Was able to complete a pass. Clock is running, 20 seconds remaining.
Yeah, the Knights don't appear to be in any hurry to get the snap off.
So they do get the ball back in the second half.
And Lincoln Southeast getting the ball back to start the second half, but they will just let the remainder of the clock run out in the first.
And that is where we will leave it. An electric first quarter followed by some great defense in the second leads us to a 10-0 lead by the Junior Jays. Heavy run attack for the Junior Jays and a pretty balanced offense for the Knights as well, as they are held scoreless.
I mean, in the first half, for Creighton Prep. You look at their rushing totals so far, 166 yards on the ground. That's really been the main key offensively to them getting those 10 points, and their defense limiting Lincoln Southeast to just 25 on the ground, 22 through the air, 47 in total. Great start for this Junior Jays team in the trenches, and they've really brought their A game here tonight in a game where they absolutely needed to show up, and they've really made a statement for themselves here in this first half against a really good Lincoln Southeast team.
Ladies and
We
gentlemen,
will take a break here at halftime. Don't go anywhere.
please turn your
Second
attention
half
to
coming up.
on the west side.
Welcome back to Siemens Stadium, where the Junior Jays lead the Knights 10-0 at the end of the first half. Colton, it was a lot of defense after an explosion on offense in the first quarter. I think we're in for a lot of the same here in the second half.
Yeah, looking at that first half, within the first 2 minutes of the game, Jacob Ruby broke off a 57-yard touchdown run with just a minute and 45 into the game. Ever since then, Lincoln Southeast went 3 and out. Creighton Prep gets the ball back. They put together a nearly 8-minute drive that ends in a field goal. And ever since then, it's been nothing for either team. A bunch of stuffed fourth downs, a bunch of punts, even an interception from Lincoln Southeast quarterback Trey Bolin. Both of these defenses have stepped up big time. The only difference so far is that the Junior Jays defense stepped up those first few possessions, while Lincoln Southeast, didn't really have as good of a start defensively. I feel like since they've adjusted to the run that Creighton Prep was dominating so much with at the start of the first half, it's been a lot more balanced offensively, and as a result, I think we're heading in for a very tight and contested game here in these final 24 minutes of football.
Absolutely, and I think a lot of that scoreless in the second quarter comes from the Junior Jays' inability to pass the ball. Tony Coniglio has not had a lot of time to make good throws and take his time on his throws. The offensive line for the Junior Jays is going to have to step it up a little bit here in the second half. And you got to wonder if those adjustments were made in halftime.
Yeah, Tony Coniglio has 9 dropbacks here today. The Junior Jays have gotten 5 yards off of them. He's 1 for 7 for 5 yards. Has gotten sacked twice for 20. It has not been a very pretty day for him under center. But this team has ran the ball well enough, played defense well enough to where they've overcome a lot of their struggles in pass protection early on. And I think if they get Tony a lot more time here in the second half, he will have a lot more chances to kind of get back in the feel of things. If it is any consolation for the Junior Jays, Lincoln Southeast hasn't been able to pass the ball well either. Trey Bolin 6 for 12 for 22 yards and an interception. It just hasn't been a good day for passing the football. These two teams combining for just 27 yards. But
the running game's been on.
Yeah, for the Junior Jays at the very least. For Lincoln Southeast, just 25 yards on the ground in the first half when they averaged 241 per game heading into this one. They're going to need to get that running game back in flow in the second half in order to stage a comeback from this 10-point deficit.
Junior Jays here to kick it away to the Lincoln Southeast Knights, looking to continue their dominant defensive efforts. But if you're Lincoln Southeast, you're looking to score here, get some momentum back, make this a one-score game. And Sledge will launch it into the end zone for a touchback.
And it's worth noting the wind is currently at the Junior Jays' backs. It's a fairly strong wind here tonight too. I think the wind has definitely impacted this passing game a little bit, as we've seen a lot of guys get overthrown, a lot of guys get underthrown, and just not very easy to get into a flow of things offensively, at least through the air when the wind's blowing so heavily.
Now it's Bolin in at the shotgun, and he's going to hand it off for the first play. Broken tackle.
Got to him. Ended up just spinning him around, and even though he won't get credit for the tackle, that was a great play defensively to push Butenbach back and prevent him from rebounding and getting a solid gain on that one. Ends up just picking up a yard, and now it's a second and long situation.
And it's going to be another handoff. This time he's going on the outside, and he will get tackled. I believe that was Alex Costello on that one.
That was a great tackle by Costello. He goes low on that one to try and bring down Butenbach by the knees, and that's exactly what he does. Now a pair of 1-yard gains on first and second down bring up a 3rd and 8 for Lincoln Southeast. They went just 1 for 5 on third downs in the first half, and now early in the second half they're trying to convert their second.
Bolin in the backfield, gets pressured, got to dump it over to Butenbach, and Butenbach stays on his feet. Butenbach's going to get that first down and then some before he gets wrestled out of bounds at the 37-yard line. First down, Knights. If you're Lincoln Southeast, that's exactly what you were looking for.
Yeah, Butenbach is so difficult to bring down. Just fights through traffic a lot. Junior Jays had a really difficult time tackling him on that play, and Butenbach, one of those guys who gets better as the game goes along, kind of like Marty Brown, who we saw come through the Junior Jays not that long ago.
Butenbach on the outside again, and big hit by cornerback Vincent Saul, brother of Michael Saul, who was the linebacker last year. He's playing baseball UNO.
And Vinny Saul, one of the most experienced defenders in this Junior J secondary, him and Alex Costello, alongside Preston Woodward, they had some playing time last year, getting a lot more opportunities this year with a lot younger of a secondary.
Heavy pressure on Bolin, and that pass is going to be broken up by Silas Bush. Great play. That one was intended for Caden Ward. Third down.
And that was Bush and Costello who were kind of in the general direction of this one, went to knock it down. And Bolin so far today, 7 for 14, 37 yards and an interception. On 3rd and 7, he's likely to go back to the air. Junior J's defense is really going to need to step up and make a big defensive play, get Lincoln Southeast off the field and get their offensive ball back early on in the second half.
One, pressured again. He's got to roll to his left. Looking, can't find anyone, and he's just going to throw it away. That brings up 4th down. He had 3 Creighton Prep defensive linemen running after him. And the punt team will come out after a big Butenbach first down. The Junior J defense able to stop him.
Yeah, and it was a bunch of guys coming in for the Junior Jays. It was Dakota Butler who actually ended up getting the hit on Trey Bolin and ultimately forcing him to just chuck that ball out of bounds. Great stop to open off the second half for the Junior Jays, and they'll get the ball back, trying to make it a 3-possession game. They might have tipped that.
Looks like a blocked punt, and it's going to be a flag, possibly roughing the kicker.
I don't know if they'll get him for roughing. If the Junior Jays tip that ball, they can't get a penalty for running into him.
Looks like.
The Junior Jays defense is heading back out onto the field, which seems to indicate that they are going to get Creighton Prep for a penalty.
And it will be a roughing the kicker call. And head coach Tim Yonk not happy about that one.
Yeah, that's one you can't be happy about as a coach. That's just a bad mistake. You can't.
Roughing the kicker is such an avoidable call, and it's a very, very costly one. Giving the Knights the ball back, and with better field position, they're in Junior J territory right now.
Yeah, and if you just don't run into the kicker there, you get the ball back in Lincoln Southeast territory, but now the Knights have the ball in Prep territory and a chance to get on the scoreboard.
It's pitched out to Buchenbach.
Butenbach's gotten 10 carries so far, just 23 yards on the ground for him. It's been a very drastic shift from how he was running the football in the Grand Island game. In the Lincoln Southwest game, he more succeeded on volume of carries more than anything else. 100 yards on 31 carries. Today, he's got 23 on his first 10.
Bolin back to pass. Bolin's going to throw a bullet to Caden Ward, and it will be caught, but not before. Not a lot of yards after the catch there. Vinny Saul brings him down. 3rd and 4 coming up. This is a big 3rd down for the Junior Jays. Got to play some rock-solid defense here.
Yeah, 3rd and 3, Lincoln Southeast can really attack you with anything offensively, so you have to be careful and alert. Just make sure you stay disciplined and make some good plays defensively.
Buchenbach not on the field here. Bolin back to pass. Bolin's got a receiver out to his right. That's Dane Omel, but he will be stopped before he can get the first down. Fourth down, Lincoln Southeast, and he will lose yardage on the play.
Yeah, they got it to Omel short, hoping that he could make a play, get past the Junior Jay's defenders, and he almost made something magical happen. He shook off 2 tackles, but it was the third guy that got there that actually ended up wrapping him up, making that play to prevent him from even getting back to the line of scrimmage. Now on 4th and 5.
It looks like they're in that kind of awkward position where it's too short to punt, too long to kick, so you kind of got to go for it.
And in this situation, you might just be trying to draw Creighton Prep offsides.
And a timeout appears to be called by the offense.
Timeout, Lincoln Southeast. Their first of the half.
It's their first of the half. We will step aside, don't go anywhere. Play coming up next. Welcome back, as Lincoln Southeast is going to go for it. Trey Bolin in the backfield, and he's going to step back to pass, and he's got a man wide open, overthrows him, incomplete. That'll bring up a turnover on downs. Looks like the Junior Jays might have gotten away with one there. Dane Omel was kind of in the open.
That might have been the wind impacting him yet again. As we mentioned earlier, it's blowing quite a bit and may have altered Bolin's trajectory on that throw and forced him into a bad pass.
And it looks like the Junior Jays coming out for their first time in the second half. Caniglio, and he's going to hand it off to Ruby, and he's going to get dropped for a loss. Lincoln Southeast, after a couple hiccups in the first and a little bit of the second quarter, looks like they're all over this Creighton Prep run.
Yeah, and the Junior Jays are really going to need to get this passing game going, because if the defense can run every single play, you're not going to have any success on the ground. There's not much this offensive line can do, and Lincoln Southeast is expecting that run and game planning for that run every single play. They need to get Tony Caniglio sometime, just get a quick pass out in the flat or something. Just get him any completion and get confidence back up in this passing game.
And it looked like a screen pass. Perhaps it was backwards, considered a live ball, and they're going to lose even more yards on the play. Just not a low throw there by Caniglio. He had Walker on the screen there, just setting up a 3rd and 12 situation.
3rd and 19.
3rd and 19, excuse me.
Yeah,
3rd and 22, excuse me.
Quite a bit of distance
3rd and 19.
for the Junior Jays. Pretty much a must pass down.
And Caniglio again with not a lot of time, and he's going to dump it off. Ruby's got room to run. Ruby's still on his feet. Ruby's going to pick up a first down and then some. The ball's loose. The Junior Jays, fortunately, come up with it. Wow, what a roller coaster on that play. Broke a couple tackles, got a first down on 3rd and 22, 3rd and 19.
Yeah, and on 3rd and 19, might as well go with a screen pass, hope that maybe you could break something due to the amount of blockers downfield, and they end up getting it because Jacob Ruby just refusing to go down. A pickup of 25. He was down just before the ball came out. Great play by Ruby, and he gets the Junior Jays a first down.
Caniglio slips while giving Ruby the ball, and again dropped for a loss of around 1.
Yeah, I think this defense is still sitting run, and you might need to really start throwing the ball more. Just hope this offensive line can protect Tony Caniglio. You feel like you kind of need an insurance touchdown to get this up to a 3-possession game at this point. This defense has played incredible all game, but, I mean, 10-point lead, it's never really safe in any situation, so Junior Jays need some points.
Caniglio back to pass. Gets a completion out to Angelo Walker. It's going to be third and medium here.
Yeah, nice little short completion from Tony Caniglio to Angelo Walker. Just gets some confidence back up for the senior quarterback. And now on 3rd and 7, it's a much more manageable situation, although definitely not an easy spot to be in offensively.
Here comes that Junior J offense, 3rd and 7 situation. Under center. And they're going to fake the handoff. Caniglio is going to be on the run, and he's going to throw it. Intended there for, I believe, that was intended for Drew Jarrett. And now it's 4th down. And now comes the punt unit for the Junior Jays.
And that's a 3rd drop we've seen offensively for Creighton Prep, and they've all come in fairly costly situations. That ends up costing them a pickup of about 4 or 5. That would make this a 4th and 2, 4th and 3 situation, and you maybe consider going for it in that spot, but now on 4th and 7, you kind of have to punt. With the wind at Matt Sledge's back, it's going to be a tough task trying to pin them down.
It looks like he's going to kick it very high with a little backspin, and it's going to go out of bounds within the 10-yard line. What a punt.
A great punt.
We're going to spot it at the 8-yard line. Lincoln Southeast pinned deep in their own territory.
It's an amazing punt by Matt Sledge. The field position battle is going to be huge in a game that's this low scoring, and to pin them down that deep in their own territory, it's a great job by Sledge, just getting the Junior Jays exactly what they need in this situation.
Under center. Fake handoff. He's going to roll to his left, and the pass is going to be incomplete. That one intended for Pierre Allen.
Yeah, that's not an easy play to make, especially for a fullback that's not really tasked with being an option in the pass-catching game very much. Lincoln Southeast is lucky that Allen even got a hand on that one, because if he didn't, that almost surely would have gone for an interception, maybe a pick 6 for the Junior Jays. But now on 2nd and 10, they get another chance.
Mullen back to pass. Mullen going to let one rip. That one's going to be way overthrown. Intended for Mariel Bradford.
35, Vinny Saul on the coverage for Prep.
Vinny Saul in the coverage there. And it's going to be 3rd and 10 at their own 8-yard line.
Yeah, they tried to push it deep downfield there, but really good coverage by the Junior Jays as Saul was all over him, and Boland's lucky that one didn't get intercepted too, as Woodward was just out of reach for that one.
Back to pass. He's in his own end zone. He's got Buenbach. Buenbach's got room to run. Buenbach, I believe, got a first down there.
I believe he's a yard short.
Yeah, you're right. It's going to be 4th and very, very short. And 4th and 1. Looks like they're going to bring out the punt unit.
Yeah, you can't really go for it in this situation, especially with this much time left in the game. If you don't get it, you're putting the Junior Jays for free in your own red zone.
Punt's going to roll out of bounds at around the 41, maybe the 42-yard line. Junior J offense ready to take the field. We will take a break. Don't go anywhere. Junior J offense taking the field at, my apologies, the 38-yard line. Got a Wyatt Lasher in motion, and he's going to cut to the outside, and a flag on the play.
And that one is going to be a horse collar on Lincoln Southeast for the tackle on Lasher. Curious what the previous penalty was.
I believe it would be it looked like a holding call there on Sheldon Galladay. I'm not sure, though. Still waiting for the officials to reach a verdict here.
Yeah, if the penalty's on Prep, it will surely be offsetting.
And it's going to be a holding call on the offense. And that will be it.
Yeah, no horse collar called for the tackle on Lasher, it appears, as instead it's just a hold on the Junior Jays, and that pushes them back 10 yards from where Lasher was when the foul occurred. So instead of it being a 1st and 20, it ends up being a 1st and 14 from the 42-yard line.
Caniglio in the shotgun, Ruby to his right. It's going to be a pitch over to Ruby, and he is going to get tackled behind the line of scrimmage. Tackle made by Caden Van Cleve. It's going to be looks like an 18 coming up.
And the Junior Jays, a big part of what they've struggled with offensively ever since that field goal drive in the first quarter is they keep getting themselves in these 2nd and long, 3rd and long situations. Even the few times that they have been able to get a 1st down in that situation really wears on you. It limits what you can do offensively.
Little trickery. Wow! A double screen, and Caniglio is still running. Lowers his shoulder with a great hit. 1st down, Junior Jays. A little trickery on 2nd, 3rd and long.
That was an amazing play call by the Junior Jays. Just throw the defense off a little bit. They're sitting run. Everyone knows that they're going to be sitting run on the toss to Ruby, and for Ruby to just go back around and throw that to Tony Caniglio, who's wide open behind the line of scrimmage, that gets the Junior Jays in the red zone. Just an amazing play call by this offensive coaching staff who knew exactly what to call in that situation.
I think they've been setting that up all day, those little screen plays, those little dump plays. Now it's Ruby, and he's going to get a good amount of yards there.
And another element of what that play does is it kind of thrusts some doubt in the minds of the defense. Like, are the Junior Jays going to try and go back to that type of trickeration? So definitely opens up a lot of opportunities in the run game that they kind of lost after a lot of those struggles with the passing game.
I wonder if they're going to stick to the run game. It's going to be Caniglio under center. And he's going to hand it off to Ruby, and Ruby is going to be just a couple yards short of the end zone. It's going to be 3rd and 1 on the 3-yard line.
Now 3rd and a yard. Curious as to if they go back with that quarterback sneak. They're in the same formation that they used on that quarterback sneak the last couple times.
And they're going to stick with it. Pushing. I don't know if they got it.
Looks like they got the first, or at the very least, they're right on the line.
And, yep, they're going to give it to him. First and goal, Creighton Prep. At the 2-yard line, they got just what they needed.
Yeah, that's just, they go back to Old Faithful on that one. Just keep going with that quarterback sneak. It's worked every single time for him so far, and Tony Caniglio just running the play to perfection, ends up getting the first down, and now the Junior Jays in a goal-to-go situation from the 2.
Caniglio handoff to Ruby, and he's going to saunter into the end zone. Touchdown, Creighton Prep. Broke a tackle, and then there's a wide open hole.
That was a great drive by the Junior Jays, exactly what they needed. They're an extra point away from making this a 3-possession game, and I think you have to feel a lot more confident, even if you don't get the extra point, to be in a situation where Lincoln Southeast would need 2 touchdowns and 2 two-point conversions to even tie it, rather than a situation where they just need a touchdown and a field goal.
Drew Gotch's extra point is up and good, nearly hitting the scoreboard. Of his 3 kicks, 2 of them have gone over the safety net behind the goalpost. And this Creighton Prep team is very, very excited. We're going to step aside. Don't go anywhere. Lincoln Southeast looking to fight back. Matt Sledge here to kick it away for the Junior Jays after a touchdown by their offense, something we haven't seen since the first quarter. And he is going to launch this one into the back of the end zone. What a kick. 16 seconds left in this 3rd quarter. Your score, 17-0 Creighton Prep.
And prior to that touchdown drive for the Junior Jays, was a tight, hardly fought game. Junior Jays had a 2-possession lead, but you felt like if Lincoln Southeast could just get a score, that could change the momentum in an instant. Now they need at least a touchdown, or at least 2 touchdowns and a field goal to even tie this game. And with the way this Junior Jays defense has been playing all day, that's definitely a difficult proposition for them.
A tackle for a short gain. Butenbach. He's had a couple big plays, but overall, the Junior Jays defense has been able to contain him very well.
Yeah, and they did a great job stopping him there. That was Michael Navarro that got him. And just 24 yards on 11 carries for Lincoln Southeast star running back, a big reason why the Junior Jays enter the 4th with a 17-0 lead.
And it looks like the end of the quarter. We will be right back here on CPSN. welcome back to Siemens Stadium as the Lincoln Southeast Knights look to get some points on the board, and flags are flying everywhere as a pass is completed by Dolan. That was Caden Ward on the reception. Trey Bolin, excuse me.
And as we see 2 flags in the backfield, seems likely that this is going to get called back, and the Lincoln Southeast offense is moving back. They get a hold against the Knights, so that moves them back to a 2nd and 19, taking away that first down.
If you're Lincoln Southeast, that is the last thing that you wanted to happen. I think you're pinned even deeper. Bolin in the backfield. The shotgun, he's going to look to pass. And he's going to complete it to Moriel Bradford, but Ian Aslan was quick to it, got the ball, popped out. He didn't have it for long enough to be a fumble, but it is an incomplete pass and set up for a 3rd and very long.
Yeah, 3rd and 19, not the way you wanted to start out this rally if you're Lincoln Southeast. You have to feel like they need a big play here to even get into a situation where you consider going for it on 4th down this deep into your own territory. But you're running out of chances. You're going to need a quick defensive stop to even really have a chance at making a comeback in this one.
And Bolin's going to have a complete pass. That time it was Nate Applegate, but it won't be enough. 4th down coming up, and out comes the punt unit.
Yeah, that one's not enough to where you can even really think about going for it on 4th down. Great stop by this Junior Jays defense, not allowing for the big play. They're okay with that short little completion, but prevents Lincoln Southeast from getting into a manageable 4th down spot. And now this offense has a chance to put the game away with another big drive.
And whistles are blown, a flag is thrown.
Number 1, Wyatt Lasher. Number 82, Nico Cosmic.
Wyatt Lasher and Nico Cosmic back to return.
The flag is back at the 43-yard line, curiously enough.
Still awaiting a call by the officials here.
Well, they picked up the flag, so I'd assume there's no penalty.
It was a timeout taken by Creighton Prep.
Yeah, that might be a good timeout to take. I mean, just in the possibility that they try to pull out a fake, end up limiting that.
And now here they come. Again, Cosmic on the far side of your screen and Lasher on the close side. Knights to punt it away. Looks like Lasher calling for a fair catch at the 49.
Wyatt Lasher comes up and makes the fair catch.
Junior J offense. Caniglio on a pitch to Jacob Ruby, and he's going to get a decent amount of yards. Right around 9 on the play. It's going to be set up a 2nd and 1 situation.
Yeah, Jacob Ruby at this point, 14 carries for 87 yards. Actually almost leads the Junior Jays in passing yards as well, as he's got 34 on the day. Tony Caniglio is 35. Ruby also at a 25-yard reception. He has been the player of the game for the Junior Jays on the offensive side.
High snap. Caniglio's going to keep it on the option, and he's got room to run. Nearly gets past, but tackled by Cash Butenbach before he can break free. It is going to be a first down and a huge gain for this Junior J offense. Looks like they finally got some of their groove back.
Yeah, and with the way Jacob Ruby has been running all day, running a read option in that situation is basically the best move they could have gone with. Tony Caniglio reads it perfectly, ends up just taking it himself. He was a Cash Butenbach tackle away from taking that all the way for 6. And at this point,
looks like another timeout is called. Again by Junior Jays.
Yeah, Junior Jays might just be looking to talk some things over as they get in the red zone. Touchdown here would almost surely put the game away, as they'd be up 24-0 with less than 10 minutes to play.
1st and 10 at the 19-yard line. Coming up next here on CPSN. Junior J offense takes the field once again after a huge run play by the quarterback, Tony Caniglio. In the I formation, got 2 men in the backfield. And it's going to be Walker on the carry. He's still up. And the whistle is blown. It's going to be a gain of around 5 or 6, looking like 6. 3rd down, or 2nd down, excuse me, and 4.
And so far today, the Junior Jays have ran Jacob Ruby 14 times. They've ran Angelo Walker 14 times. Both of them putting together big games on the ground, averaging over 4 yards per carry. Done a great job offensively, just getting the Junior Jays some consistent production.
Caniglio on a fake pitch. That one, Colin Corrigan, but he gets tripped up. Short gain. It's going to be 3rd and about 3 coming up here.
Yeah, Junior Jays were maybe trying to catch him off guard with how much they've gone to their running backs so far today. Getting some fullback action in there. Not a bad idea, but Lincoln Southeast just able to make a good play, and now 3rd and 3, still a manageable situation for Prep.
It's going to be a run play. This time it's Walker, and he's going to be dropped before the line to gain. And it's going to be 4th down.
Now 4th and a yard. You are up 17 points.
I wouldn't be surprised if they brought out the field goal unit here, but I'm not so sure they will.
Yeah, I think going for it might actually be the best move here, especially with your success on QB sneak so far today.
And it's going to be a QB sneak, just as you said, and he will get it. The Knights had a lot of guys line up on the defensive line there, but it doesn't stop the Junior Jays from getting that 1st down. And I believe it will be 1st and goal then.
And this quarterback sneak has worked basically every time the Junior Jays have gone to it, and they end up getting another 1st down on it there.
It's going to be another run play to Angelo Walker, and he's going to cut upfield. And he's still on his feet, pushing for the goal line, and he's going to get stopped just short. Maybe a couple yards short. Walker yet to score today. Ruby with 2.
Yeah, and in the Burt game, Angelo Walker had 3 touchdowns. Jacob Ruby had 2. Walker gets another one, they're even on the year.
And it looks like he will. Touchdown, Creighton Prep. Angela Walker on the carry. Rushing it in for 6. I mean, from that far out, did you expect him to do anything else?
No.
The run play has been extremely dominant, especially in that 3-4 yard range. And when you're 3-4 yards out, just got to hand it off.
Yeah, and this run game has been so effective for the Junior Jays. This offensive line has stepped up in the run game, and Jacob Ruby and Angela Walker have to be the happiest people in this stadium with the performance of the offensive line here today.
Extra point is good. Leaving your score 24-0, Junior Jays. Lincoln Southeast offensive possession coming up next. Welcome you back. Matt Sledge to kick it away once again. Creighton Prep shutting out Lincoln Southeast so far in this game with just over 7 minutes left to play.
And the way this Junior Jays team has won this game so far has been the most encouraging sign, maybe.
Kind of a short kick there by Sledge. Looks like it's going to be fielded at around the 32, 31 yard line.
Just before it went out of bounds.
Yeah. The way the Junior Jays have won this game has been maybe the most impressive. Last year, they struggled a lot on the offensive and defensive line. They allowed big rushing games to teams like Millard West and Papillion La Vista. Struggled with running the football and protecting the pass. They've struggled a bit with their pass protection today, but for the most part, this offensive line has been really good in the run game, and their defensive line has been incredible.
Cash Budenbach on the carry doesn't get much. We've seen that a lot.
Yeah, Cash Butenbach, he was the main player that the Junior Jays had to watch today. One of the main keys for them to win this game was to limit him as much as they possibly could. They've done a good job with that today. 12 carries for Butenbach, just 25 yards. Does have 23 yards in the receiving game, but great job by the Junior Jays defense limiting number 34 in the backfield.
It's Trey Bolin on the pass. He's going to go to his left, and that pass is incomplete. That was Nico Cosmic on the coverage there. He was guarding Mason Meta.
That one was a little bit too high for Meta. It was going to be a tough catch with Cosmic so close to him, but you need to give your receiver a chance to make that play, and Bolin just threw it a bit too high for him, and now it's a 3rd and 9 situation.
Bolin in the pocket, rolls to his right, throws deep, and that pass was incomplete. He had it caught, maybe had a foot in bounds, but dropped it on his way down.
Now on 4th and 9.
That was Mario Bradford on the target.
We'll see what Lincoln Southeast will do. It looks like they're bringing out the punt unit, and with so little time left in this game and so much of a deficit to make up, appears like
a timeout
the white flag.
It's like a timeout called there by the Knights. We will be right back as well. You're watching CPSN. said before, they spent just under 8 minutes on a single drive, and there's only 6 left in the game.
Yeah, the Junior Jays have really controlled the time of possession. With 48 minutes in a high school football game, Junior Jays have already held onto the ball for about 27.5 with 6 still remaining.
Colin Corrigan on a big run there. It's going to be a first down for the Junior Jays.
An 11-yard pickup for wearing number 44. That's got to bring back some visions of George Egan for a lot of Junior Jays fans that were here 2 or 3 years ago. Great job by Corrigan getting that first down.
Now it's Elijah Cannon at quarterback, and he's going to hand it off. Jacob Ruby on the rush there for around 9 yards. And an injured player on the field for Lincoln Southeast. We will take a break. We welcome you back. It's going to be second and very short here for the Junior J offense. Clock does resume here, and they're going to hand it off to Colin Corrigan, the fullback. And he's going to break a couple tackles and get loose. And he's going to get the first down.
Colin Corrigan says, I'm not going down. I want this Creighton Prep first down.
6-yard pickup, really fighting through the defensive effort. Great job breaking some tackles there for Colin Corrigan.
Great rush there by Colin Corrigan, not giving up on the play, getting the first down. Clock continues to run. Junior Jays found their groove back from the first quarter. And it's going to be a pass here by Elijah Cannon. He's going to roll to his right, and he's going to throw it away. Not a lot of room. Not a lot of options there. Good coverage by the Knights secondary.
Yeah, that one was vaguely in the direction of Eli Whitcomb. Probably a smart play by Cannon not to risk a turnover there. Just throw that ball in a situation where only your receiver has a chance at catching that, and Whitcomb didn't even really have that good of a chance himself, so just a smart play by Cannon to get that ball out of bounds.
Cannon under center. 2nd and 10. He's going to hand it off to Ruby. Ruby's going to get some speed and probably a first down here. Maybe just a little bit short.
Yeah, it might be a yard short on that one, but that does get him over 100 yards on the day, as Jacob Ruby has been incredible for the Junior Jays these last couple weeks. 105 yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground, 25 yards receiving, and another 34 passing.
Well, Keeney now checking into the game. He's on the close side of your screen. Cannon looked to pitch, but he's going to keep it himself, and he's going to drop his shoulder. getting a first down here for the Junior Jays.
It's a nice little run from Cannon. It picks up 9 yards. Not being afraid to be physical downfield and fight through some contact. That gets the Junior Jays a first down.
And it looks like an injury on the field. This time it's a Junior Jay. We will step aside. Welcome back, Junior J offense. After a nice first down by Elijah Cannon. Looks like it's Henry Trzynski in the backfield, as well as Jaden Cannon, I believe. And they're going to hand it off after a very small gain. Maybe got back to the line of scrimmage. It's going to be 2nd and 10 coming up.
Yeah, it's nice to see the young guys get in the game for the Junior Jays. Tim Yonk, the Junior Jays head coach, mentions the importance of varsity reps a lot with a lot of these young guys. We've seen it in the past with Tony Caniglio getting a lot of chances as a sophomore and a bunch of other guys getting a lot of opportunities as well. It's nice to see Trzynski in there and get some carries in the backfield here as a youngster.
Cannon's going to keep himself again, try to get to the outside, break a tackle, but he's going to get swarmed up. It's going to be 3rd and long as the whistle is just now blown.
I believe he picked up about 2 on that one. A good job fighting through some contact by Cannon to pick up whatever yards he can. This clock just keeps on ticking. There's going to be less than 2 minutes to play in the 4th when the Junior Jays snap it again here on 3rd and 8.
Junior Jays not in any rush. Just trying to bleed the clock here. And it's going to be a pass to the fullback. Apologize, it's not Jaden Cannon. That's number 41, Vincent Constantino on the carry. And here comes the field goal unit. To kick it is Drew Gotch.
Drew Gotch has already made a kick from 35 today. This one a little bit closer at 34. That one from 35 was on the right hash. This one from about the middle of the field.
It is down, up, and good.
No
good, excuse me. It's going to remain 24-0 as the Knights are going to take the field with just over 1 minute remaining. We'll be right back here on CPSN.
Thursday.
Lincoln Southeast. Bolin on another deep pass, and it's overthrown once again. Intended for Mason Meta.
Another overthrow downfield. Kind of seen that a bit with this win for Lincoln Southeast, and just a rough night for them offensively. Just couldn't generate anything really. Just 56 yards through the air, another 34 on the ground. Less than 100 total yards of offense so far, as the Junior Jays have to be ecstatic with the way they have performed defensively.
Under center, and it's going to be a pitch out to the right for Cash Buchenbach, and he's going to stay on his feet for quite a few more yards after contact, as we are now under a minute left in the game.
Clock's just going to keep winding. Lincoln Southeast doesn't appear to be in too big of a hurry to get snaps off. This might be the final play of the game.
And it's Bolin, and he's going to keep it, getting pressured. The pass is complete to Mario Bradford for a first down, and the clock will stop temporarily while they move the change. But as you said, they don't look like they're in much of a hurry-up offense here. And the clock will continue to roll. And it looks like they will not run another play. Maybe they will. Looks like they're going to try to get one more off. Less than 10 seconds left. And they will get it off just before the game is over. And he will be pressured, incomplete. And that is how we'll end Creighton Prep 24, Lincoln Southeast 0. A shutout for the Junior Jays against a top 10 opponent in Nebraska. Great job by the offensive line in regards to the rushing blocking. Very powerful on the ground. All 3 touchdowns came from a run play. I think they dominated defense as well. Obviously, considering Southeast was held to 0 points. Great job by the secondary and the defensive line for putting pressure on Trey Bolin.
For Creighton Prep, I think you have to feel the best about this game that you have about a football game in a very long time. 24-0 win against a top 10 team in the state of Nebraska. This is almost surely going to get them ranked in the top 10 next week as they improve to 2-1. They're entering a bit of a tough part of their schedule with teams like Millard West, Papillion, La Vista, and Central all coming up, and obviously their matchup with Westside in the rivalry game towards the end of the year. But getting a big win against one of the best teams in the state, especially a win as dominant as the one tonight, you have to feel very happy with your performance if you're Creighton Prep.
Absolutely. I think player of the game definitely goes to Jacob Ruby. 2 touchdowns. Almost led the team in receiving yards as well.
Yeah, a total of 164 yards when you include his contributions in the rushing, receiving, and passing games. He did have a 34-yard completion to the starting quarterback, Tony Caniglio. Just a great game for Ruby offensively. Defensively, I think the player of the game has to be Jake Brock. He was blowing up a ton of plays in the backfield, bringing a lot of pressure on the quarterback, Trey Bolin, whenever they drop back to pass. Just a great game for the Junior Jays all around, and you have to feel very good about your performance here tonight.
Absolutely. Creighton Prep gets the win over Lincoln Southeast, 24-0. I'm Chris Hillebrand alongside Cole Nalder. Special thanks to Mike Knockenauer on computer, Jack Cosgrove, and King Maxwell on the main camera. Again, 24 Creighton Prep, 0 Lincoln Southeast. We will see you next time here on CPSN.